Welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Reshaping Business with Integrity, the podcast where we explore how to run your business authentically and with integrity. I'm your host, Elisa Boogaerts, a business coach and launch manager, helping coaches launch their programs and events that align with their business values. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to building a successful business without sacrificing morals, ethics, authenticity, or heart. Let's dive in. So in today's episode, you're going to get me. And because it is May, and I understand you may be listening to some other time of May, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I think that mental health is important all year round. And so, it's always a good time to really reflect on how our mental health, our mental well-being can really impact our professional lives, our businesses, especially if you are, launching a program. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I can be my own worst enemy. And I can kind of know when maybe, I'm stressed out about things if I start to self-sabotage myself a little bit, or if you sort of start to level up in your business, you can put yourself in your own way because there's a bit of fear when it comes to, up leveling or putting this launch out there, putting yourself out there, being visible. And especially, if you're pouring your heart into launching this, say a new coaching program or something new that you're offering. So it's really sort of an interesting question to ponder if you are maybe your worst enemy. And I've definitely seen this in myself 100%. And it can kind of creep in sometimes when you least expect it, right? You might find yourself second guessing decisions, overthinking every detail, or even, procrastinating as well on crucial tasks. Or all of a sudden everything becomes more important. Or, maybe you're like, well, I have to take care of my mental health. I have to rest. And then you end up resting a little bit more than you normally would or actually need to. And I know that I've done all of these things myself when I have a new sort of program idea, and it can be a real roadblock for success, and it can really delay things and not get that out there. One common scenario that I really encounter with clients is the fear of failure, right? It can be really paralyzing for even the most experienced coaches. It can be paralyzing for all of us. And I remember a client who really hesitated to promote her program because she was worried about kind of how it would be received. And once we were able to really shift her focus to the value she was providing, she found the confidence to move forward. And I think this is something that we really got to think about, is like to know our worth, to know our value. And if we know that and we can be confident in that, I think that can really help to move us forward, help to give us that more confidence and stop self-sabotaging. And it can be hard because if you have a new idea and something that you want to launch that's sort of new, and maybe you haven't done it before, but you've done parts of it. And it's going to be fabulous, but then you might doubt yourself. You might doubt that you can really, really do it and what your value is if you hadn't done it before. So yeah, that's definitely that kind of fear of failure and lack of sort of self-worth can really get in the way. Another challenge can really be perfectionism. Right? It's easy to get caught up in wanting everything to be absolutely flawless and perfect. But we got to remember that done is better than perfect. Getting something out there is better than perfect. And what I love about launching is that, it's a repeatable process. You put systems in place, and as you repeat them and do them over and over again throughout the longevity of your business, you can tweak them and make them better and have lessons learned and retrospectives to actually continually improve them. So the first time you do it, done is better than perfect. And then you can start to sort of perfect it or change it or tweak it as you relaunch it the next time and the next time and the next time. Because, a well-executed launch, even with a few bumps, it can often lead to more learning and growth than waiting for it to be perfect. And also, if you wait for it to be perfect, you never get it out there, then you never know how people are going to respond to it and how you might need to change it, right? So even if you get it to a perfect state, it may not resonate and you're going to have to change it anyway. So done is better than perfect. And so, when you think about these things, how can we sort of overcome some of these hurdles? And I really think that we need to start by acknowledging your fears and your doubts, really becoming aware of them and really being honest with yourself about it and really being honest and authentic with yourself about it as well. And, you can write them down and you can challenge them. Is this really true? What else could be true? And then you can, if you're sort of dealing with overwhelm, as I always recommend, creating a roadmap for your project, right? Breaking it down into manageable tasks and celebrating every win along the way. Every time you do something, I want you to get your right hand. I want you to turn your palm and face your palm to you, and then put it over your left shoulder and pat yourself on the back for every time that you do something amazing and make even a baby step forward or overcoming one of these hurdles. And, really lean on your support network. Whether it's a mentor, a peer, or a coach, having someone to bounce ideas off of can really make a world of difference. And if you're part of a mastermind, go to them and talk to them about it. When I see myself starting to self-sabotage, I go to my coach to help me identify what's really going on and to shift it. And I'll go to my masterminds, I'm in a couple of different masterminds, and I'll ask them about it, tell them about it. And when I have done that, they've immediately been like, yes, that is amazing. That is great for you. Or here are some suggestions, or what about this idea? And I'll even talk about pricing, and they'll be like, you are 100% worth that. Yes, do it. And so I feel like, when we bounce these ideas off people and in our support groups, you can really get some amazing feedback. And especially if they're in those circles of trust that you have with these people. And they can really help you to overcome your self-sabotaging and give you that sort of confidence and help you be brave to go ahead and do the thing that you fear. So yeah, really, really lean on your support network. And then, of course, so say, you have this idea and you go through all these things and you kind of figure this out and you kind of get over yourself. Well, now you got this giant project ahead of you that you actually, want to launch. You got this program to launch. And when you're preparing to launch a coaching program or an event or a summit or what have you, I've got a huge summit, a huge event coming up. And I can think about that. I'm like, whoa, that is giant. The pressure can really be immense. And you might feel overwhelmed by the details. You might feel overwhelmed by the deadlines. You might feel overwhelmed by the expectations, especially the high ones that you put on yourself. And it's really easy to forget that your mental health is just as important as any of these project deadlines, right? And I've seen it when, my clients, they didn't prioritize their mental health and use the support of their team, and also the support of the people around them, especially if you have like VAs or people within you, especially if I become someone's project manager to launch with them. Some of them, they don't use the support that I provide them, and things really start to go downhill. And a client of mine, really felt overwhelmed by all the work that she decided to completely take over and do everyone's work for them. She did everybody's tasks, even though she had this team of people that were all sitting there just waiting for, information from her so they could go do the work. She just kind of had to do the first step, and then everybody else was going to do all the rest of the steps. And she went ahead and did absolutely everything. In this way, she knew that everything was going to get done. However, it really burnt her out. And I've also seen it when coaches do prioritize their mental well-being. They not only feel better, but they also perform better. And I think we all kind of know this. And it can be really hard because we think like, oh, but I got so much stuff to do and all this and that, because especially when you're launching, you not only, you have your client work that you already had there, right? And you've got all your marketing, you're wearing all the hats, you got to delegate to your team. And then you put a launch on top of that. Like it can really, it can really be difficult. And so really having your mental health really does help you to perform better if you prioritize it. So, the workload really increases. And so you feel like you don't have enough time, and therefore you don't prioritize your mental health. But if you do, you actually perform better and you will get the tasks done better. Right? And a clear mind really leads to better decision-making, more creativity, and a stronger connection to your audience. So here are a few strategies to help you maintain your mental health during a launch. So the first thing is to really set some realistic goals, right? Like I said earlier, break down your launch into manageable tasks. And instead of focusing on the entire project, concentrate on one step at a time. Trust me, this really helps to reduce anxiety and it helps you stay organized. And this is one of my sort of superpowers where I can take this very complex, giant project and I can put it into these weekly goals and weekly tasks. And that's actually what I provide my clients. And I say, I know that there's 1,000 things to do right now, but I want you to focus on these particular things. And I want you to trust the process. I want you to trust the plan that I put together and just focus on this. And then the next things will come. And sometimes you're like, why am I writing these emails right now if they're not going to go out in 2 months' time? It's like, well, because we have time right now. And if you get them done right now, then you won't even need to think about them later. They'll be done because later there's going to be so much other stuff going on that if you had the emails on top of that, your anxiety would go up. So I really feel like having these manageable tasks really reduces anxiety. Really helps you stay organized. And like I said, create a support system. Surround yourself with a team that understands your vision and that is, with you on it and really lean on them for support. I always tell my clients this, I'm part of your team. I'm on your side and I want to work on this with you. So let's do it together. And really effective communication and collaboration can lighten the load and it can really foster a positive environment and it makes the launch process just so much smoother. If you lean on them for support and you're all communicating together and collaborating and everybody knows what they need to be doing and you let everybody do what they need to do and you all work as a team together, oh, it is beautiful. So please create a support system and lean on them for that support. And of course, schedule your breaks. It's so easy to get lost in the hustle. Oh my goodness, especially if you're like doing a 3-day event as part of your launch to sell your high ticket offer. Woo, that can be a lot. And even during the 3 days, being on Zoom for 12 hours, 3 days in a row, that's a lot. And so even when you're scheduling something like and putting together your 3-day event, give yourself the breaks. Let somebody sort of take over something, or when you put people into breakout rooms, you go leave, make that breakout room long enough so that you can have a 10-minute break. Or if a speaker comes in, get off screen and, leave for a little bit, give yourself that break. And, really make sure that you carve out this time for yourself, even, as you're preparing for your launch, whether it's a short walk, a few minutes of deep breathing. I know I've talked about positive intelligence a while, doing some PQ reps. So focus on your breathing or focus on some tactile thing, like rub your fingertips together and just be present for that moment. Or when you go and eat, don't bring your phone with you. Go have a snack, go eat your meal and love the food that you're eating. Even close your eyes and taste the food and feel the textures. And even just these little moments will just make you really be more present and like give your brain a bit of a break. These moments can really recharge your mind and recharge your spirit. And they're really amazing. And one of my clients, she's got a couple of PhDs and she's all about the brain and neurology. And she talked about how, our brain is like this, it's big on our heads, but in terms of our body, it's like a smaller organ and it takes up something like 60% of our energy. So if you're, just doing so much and you're on all the time and you're using your brain so much, like it will deplete your energy because your brain uses so much energy. So take those little breaks, give your brain a bit of a break, get enough sleep and take those moments for yourself. And, before bringing project management into my business, I was a life coach, and mindfulness is huge for me, something I truly believe in and do every day. And so I really suggest that you incorporate mindfulness practice into your routine, right? Like we were just saying, deep breathing, short meditation session. Sometimes it can even just be a couple of minutes. This will significantly improve your focus. And even sometimes just quiet. Like if I'm on Zoom all day afterwards or in between, I will go and I will just sort of lie down on my couch quietly And sometimes I'll just sort of stare at the ceiling, or even I'll just sort of close my eyes and just have a few minutes of just nothingness. And this can really help you reset and approach your tasks with really renewed energy. It is quite amazing. Remember that it's okay to ask for help. I was in helping my client with his 3-day event recently, and we had these cards, and the one that came up for me twice was to ask for help, which I thought was very interesting. So like I talked before, whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a supportive friend, have someone to lean on, right? Having this person to lean on can make all the difference. Because your mental health is not just a personal issue, it's a crucial part of your business strategy. And when you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to take care of your clients and get your launch out there, and it'll be even more successful. So, as you prepare for your next launch, really take a moment to prioritize your mental well-being, because you deserve to enjoy the journey as much as the destination. Well, that's it for me today. For this episode, I really hope that you prioritize your mental health and that you're able to take some little nuggets from today and, be aware. And once you have the awareness, then you can take some steps in which to change what's going on and really improve your mental health, which will just make your business, so much flow with ease and joy, which is all what we want anyway. So until next time, thanks for being here, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically. So please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.